similar to what we talked about earlier, right? Making sure we have regular exercises, attempting to sleep, healthy eating, because what we eat really does impact our mood and our mind, drinking enough water, making sure that we have some laughter, limit alcohol to intake because it's a depressant. Doesn't matter how happy you are if you're drinking, it's still a depressant. Relaxation techniques, and we'll talk a little bit about some of those in a minute. Interesting for me was the massage, whirlpool, and sauna. I was like, what? When I read further, I understood that with massage, you're connecting. Someone is actually physically touching you and connecting with you, and that can actually help. For whirlpool and sauna, because it's warm and you're stimulating the body and you're stimulating circulation, etc., that can also help you. Repetitive activities, so things that you do over and over and over again, can actually help you come to terms with thinking and what's going on for yourself. How are we doing? Okay, we have just 1 minute. So impact. Alternate nostril nose breathing is something that we learn in yoga, and it has actually been shown through research, although I can't name the exact research. They have shown that when you do this, you're basically opening up your breath. When you feel stress or anxiety, you stop breathing deeply. This is normal, this happens. Whenever you're angry, you're not breathing deeply. So what this does is it forces you to breathe deeply. And basically what you're doing is you're taking your thumb, you're putting it on the right nostril. You can take this finger and put it here if you want to, you don't have to. And then you're using your middle finger to close the left nostril. And so what you do is you open one side, you breathe in for 4, you hold, and then you exhale out the other side for, say, 4. Then you breathe in this side for 4, you hold, and then you exhale out the other side. And you continue to do this process until you feel a sense of calm. Like, you probably don't want to do it 80 times in a row, that's not healthy either, but about 8 times is enough to get enough breath and breathing. This also, by the way, if you have a cold and you feel stuffed up here, it helps to clear that. Okay, so teaching self-care in terms of emotional and relational, making sure that we have nurturing relationships. We are surrounding ourselves with people who are empathetic and not sympathetic. We have contact regularly with home, friends by email or Facebook, depending on our situation. We're talking. We use humor to deal with things and to connect with people. Ongoing support group. So a support group could be something like a book club. It's just an opportunity for people going through similar experiences to talk about what they're going through, to get other opinions and ideas about how to cope with the same experiences. Reflection, so journaling, writing, meditation, poetry, writing music, creative activities, painting, drawing, playing music, etc. Counseling with well-trained and appropriate counselors, right? You want to make sure that they are actual counselors, because they could actually do harm if they're not. And storytelling. So again, this information comes from the Headington Institute. You can also find more details about it online at the Headington Institute. This is Understanding and Coping with Traumatic Stress. This is a module, a specific module this all comes from. I wanted to do an activity, well, first I was going to show you the nefarious 15 list, but we don't have time for that today. We are completely out of time. But if you go to Oprah.com and you look for Dr. Phil's nefarious 15, it talks about traits that people have that are not helpful. So when we look at nurturing relationships, the nefarious 15 lists are not traits that occur in nurturing relationships. They are traits that occur in relationships that you might want to consider keeping. Okay? And he goes very quickly, so you may want to do some further research on that. Finally, teaching self-care, they also included spiritual in this. And for them, spiritual doesn't necessarily mean a higher power, but basically it could be where you find meaning in your life, participating in a community of meaning and purpose, so people who share similar meaning and purpose, regular times of prayer, meditation, or reading, depending on what it is that makes you feel better, meaningful conversations, singing or listening to spiritual music, contact with religious leaders or other inspiring individuals. Whatever, again, it's about meaning. It's about being able to draw from others for inspiration, right? And for life lessons. And then time with art, nature. We all love nature, right? Music. And solitude. Not surrounding ourselves by other people all the time. Solitude is very important because it helps us to understand what we are going through. It helps us to go through the emotions, yeah? We don't always like anger. We don't always like sadness. But we have to go through it. We have to feel it and then let it go, right? Okay, so we're not going to do that. Meditation, I just want to show you this. Oh, actually, I don't need to show you this. At www.chopra.com, this is Deepak Chopra, and he has online a series of meditations that you can do occasionally for free. They're 21-day-long meditations, and they deal with different aspects of your life. And I oftentimes use them to fall asleep because I have a hard time sleeping. And they're wonderful for that, but they're also wonderful if you don't need to use them to fall asleep. So basically, he will start with an explanation of the meditation, of a mantra that he gives you, and what it means. And then you sit for a period between 5 and 10 minutes, and you're just meditating. And then the meditation is over. And so, again, they'll have it for 21-day segments. And they have a free one on the site right now, so you can experience what it's like. These are the references. Understanding and Coping with Trauma and Stress by Lisa McKay at the Headington Institute. This was the information where we had the self-care and all the emotions of self-care. Viktor Frankl's Principle for Discovering Meaning in Life and Work. This was Alex Patakos. He wrote this book, Prisoners of Our Thoughts, and then that was the rest, and so you can find that online. Trauma-sensitive schools, you already wrote this one down. Dr. Zacharian and Miss Haynes for teaching English learners living with trauma, violence, and stress in Texas in 2013, and then again in 2014. And that's everything. We went a little over time, sorry about that. Questions, comments, or concerns? If not, thank you for coming.
Thank you.